That's my baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored. They did it.
Just laugh. Be laugh.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, fam, what is up? We are back for another episode of our Athlete Spotlight. I'm your host, as always, Steve Rochelle, being joined by my guest for this afternoon on to my right. It really needs no introduction if you've been a part of the combat sports world, Mr. Tony Kryptonite Lopez. Tony's actually going to be stepping in here. Short notice fight, man. Gamebred 3 is going to be the main event here tomorrow night. So, you know, he's getting ready to weigh in here shortly. He's giving us a few minutes of his time this afternoon. So, fam, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, check it out, everything we're doing here over here at A2D. And, you know, while we're at it, make sure you also don't forget all our episodes and are sponsored here and for the Athlete Spotlight by EXP Realty. So, if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you're looking to change a career in brokerage, contact our guy, Alan Foy, over at EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at Alan Foy at exprealty.com. How you doing this afternoon, Tony? You getting settled in there?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. Got in here last night, so had a day to, just relax. And today's the same thing, just relax, and all we got to do is weigh in.
Oh yeah, well that's the easy part for you. You're normally in shape and all that stuff. So heavyweight, you don't normally have to fight around too much with worrying about what the weight is. You're in shape. You typically always train. There's guys who compete at heavyweight that they still got to cut 10, 15 pounds before they weigh in. So I think you're probably one of those guys that doesn't really have to cut too much. You're just typically where you walk around at, right?
Oh, exactly. I hate cutting weight. I only did it when I used to go down to 205, and now I'm heavy enough to where I don't want to ever go down to 205. I might if a good fight pops up. So hey, don't count me out of 205. But right now I'm happy at heavyweight.
I mean, I don't blame you there. I mean, you look at lead up until Amanda Nunes' last fight with Juliana Pena. She I think someone interviewed her about the cut back down to 135, and she was sitting there saying, I was crying to my wife Nina Ansaroff. She's like, I don't want to make this cut again. I really don't like it. And a lot of people were super surprised of the upset that Juliana had last week. And what are your thoughts about that? Juliana Pena kind of some people are saying it's the upset, the biggest upset in UFC history. Did people forget about Anderson Silva, Chris Weidman, or did I miss something? Because don't get me wrong, that was a huge win. Amanda's the quoted, walking around the female goat, so to speak, but. I mean, Anderson Silva was kind of in his own right at that point in time during his run. I thought it was a bigger surprise what Chris Weidman did to him in the manner that he did it to him. You submitted Amanda Nunes where Chris had knocked Anderson out. I think it's a little bit different. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that's a rightful thing, the biggest upset of UFC history?
No, not at all. You got to think. I mean, if they're talking about the now, right now, in time that. What's going on around? Yeah, that's the biggest upset. But overall, you can't ever just say, "Oh, this is it," because like you just said, there's so many other.
I mean, we could go. There's other arguments we could make for that too. Like the reason why I'm saying that because it also killed the super fight between George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva that was looming. That's literally what was looming, and it's kind of like the same thing that we were looking at here, where you were looming at a potential super fight where Dana was going to bring in Kayla Harrison over from PFL, and let's see who the baddest female on the planet is, because she's kind of the Olympic judoka here in the United States. She's probably the girl, if you look at it over the next 4 to 5 years, probably somebody who has that star power that could do that. But I just got and I'm always proponent like the women need more eyes on them. So I don't want to take anything away from Juliana, but I still think there's other ones you put up there. It's definitely in the top 5. I won't take that away from her. That is definitely a top 5 upset all time.
Well, of course, I mean, no matter what, an upset's an upset. When you're not expecting it, hey, that's what it's for. The excitement, all that stuff. So, I'm never going to take anything away from that fight. Yeah. But like I said, it ain't the greatest. It ain't the best of all time. But I mean, it's up there, like you said, top 5.
Yeah, it's up there. I just like it's just how I guess the way media does things nowadays. Everything has to be the best in that moment. I will respectfully disagree with that one. It's A2D Radio after all. I'll go Anderson. I'll even go when Matt Serra upset George in their fight. That was a big one. No one thought he was going to do that. So I mean, a lot of people were big on Juliana. You knew Amanda Nunes could either walk away or she would get to that point where somebody would knock her off as she's losing interest in it. She's talking about walking away within the next year or two. I'm thinking, that may play a part of. We'll see if they run it back. They're talking about running it back, but it's good. It's fun to talk about. It's breathing life back in that division where everyone felt she ruled it with an iron fist.
Well, she did. That's the problem. That's why she was getting bored. That's why she wanted to quit. I mean, not to compare myself to her, but same thing. When I started out my career, I went on a nice tearing streak for 16 straight fights, and I got bored. And the last 5 fights of those 16 straight wins were stretched out fights for me. I stopped training. I stopped doing everything so I could make it more of a fight because it was too easy for me. And so, it's like at the end, I just said, you know what, do I really want it or whatever? And I ended up losing, my out of the 16, the last 2, in a row. And then from there, it was just a downhill battle. And then finally, over the years, I've been, fighting with myself, like, I want to do this. I want to do this. And right now is when my mind is finally clearing up from all these years of doing this, that I got my eyes set on what I want to do with my career here in MMA and bare knuckle boxing and any sport I do. I know what I'm going to do, and it's called win.
Yeah, and and you had a rough go with the last year, obviously. Coming up on the short end of things, but also just in that time, you've had I think within the last 2 years, you've had 7 fights, man. That's that's nuts considering you see guys in the UFC having troubles pulling off 3 in a year, and you're able to pull off 7 in 2.
Yeah, well, I did slow down on my pace, which I kind of hated it. I'm hoping to rack in at least 10 to 15 a year. Then I know I'm on pace. So that's a good year for me.
Are you trying to catch Jeremy Horn? The guy has the most combat sport fights in the modern era. Is that what's going on here?
No. I mean,
you're a solid, I think 2nd or 3rd there as far as most guys who have had the most fights.
Well, no, you know what? I got one goal, and that's just to hit 100. And I'm talking about 100 straight wins from here out. So I think I'm 60. I got 66 wins. I got 34 more to go, and I want 34 straight. So that's my goal.
Hey, well, you took a hell of a time to try to do it too. If you look at where combat sports is, there's so many opportunities now where you look at it across the board. I mean, it was if you look where the sport was, 10, 15 years ago, it was you were stuck with one thing. If you were a boxer, that's where you were at. You were boxing. If you were an MMA fighter, you were making it there. Now we've also seen over the past 5 years or so, bare knuckle boxing's kind of pop up. Obviously, you're getting your taste in it tomorrow night in some bare knuckle MMA. Thankful to Jorge Masvidal to coming up with this idea. What are your thoughts on this one? The Gamebred MMA, bare knuckle MMA. Is this something you've been looking forward to try your hat in? Because obviously you've already stepped in there with BKFC. You've already been in there. Alan Belcher's one of the best guys out there. You fought into a tough decision. What are your thoughts on where bare knuckle is going? Because you see now, obviously Gamebred has one. You also have Mike Vasquez down there in Miami with BYB Extreme. You already have what Dave Feldman's doing. You see other promotions popping up trying to kind of do something similar. What is the what are your thoughts on what the craze on bare knuckle boxing been over the past handful of years?
It's the way it should be. To me, when bare knuckle came out, it was like a dream come true. That's what I always wanted. It's to me, bring back the old UFC days. When they didn't have no gloves, no weight limits, all that. You go in there one-on-one, don't care, no matter, but with size, weight, all that stuff. Just who's the best? Let's find out. And that's kind of what there's a feel for. The bare knuckle boxing with at Dave Feldman's was that for me the first taste of, hey, they just go in there and they just do it, a regular fight. I've never been in a street fight. That to me was more of a street fight in a sense, And now from after I did that too, in my head I was thinking, what, man, that'd be awesome if they did an MMA. Bare knuckle MMA would be awesome. I mean, little 4-ounce gloves. What's the difference? Take them off and that's it. And then here we go. And with Gamebred doing it. And I mean, I was like, when they hit me up last minute, I was like, hey, that's what I've been wanting right there, so here's my chance to, do what I got to do and shine. So I love this. I love this.
So how did that all come about? Obviously, Alex Spartan was lined up, with another opponent. Obviously, COVID injuries, whatever may have you. He happened to step out. How do they come across your name to make that phone call? Is it just you're one of them guys? They know you're a dog. You're going to take anything on last minute, or is it just the right opportunity at the right time?
I think a little bit of both. Right opportunity, right time, and also the fact that yes, they know, hey, if you call Tony, he'll say he'll never say no to a fight. So and that's what it was. They hit me up, and I didn't ask who it was or what they were paying or this. I just said, yeah, I'm available. Let's do it. So and that's what this is. I mean, now I said it's the love of the sport for me now. To go out there and compete at my age and to show everybody that hey, it ain't how old you are, it's just what you know and how good you are. So that's all I'm here to do is prove to everybody how good I really am.
I mean, and that's the thing right now. Like, obviously, it's not about glory. It's not about belts or anything like that. It's really about, where you're at moving forward. Just your overall love for combat sports and being able to kind of just do what you love to do, right?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've got my collection of belts from, his whole country, the world and stuff like that. So, I mean, more belts, hey, more smiles. But at the same time, it's just go out there and enjoy what I'm doing. And that's what it's all about. Go out there, put on a show for the fans. And, like I said, before it started, hey, do it for the fans, make them happy. Now it's still for the fans, make them happy. But like I said, I got my goals. And my goal is to get, to 100 and all wins. I don't want another loss on my record. I'm tired of them. I don't like the way they look on my record, and I just want W's.
I think about anyone who steps in the cage wants that, right? What I mean? You see some of these fighters get out of here pretty quick. Some for right reason, some for the wrong reason. Some leave you wondering. Like, obviously, we seen Ronda leave a few years ago. She made it well and clear when she came in. She had a plan on what she wanted to do. She was going to be here for X amount of time, and she wanted to start her family. That's obviously what she's done. She hasn't done. She hasn't deviated from that. I know. We just seen Felicia Spencer quit. We've seen a lot of people kind of leave. Like, a lot of people felt Khabib could have won a few more years. Obviously, between injuries, his lifestyle and everything he'd already accomplished. He felt he was at where he was at. You're someone that's on the other side of that. It's like, it's almost like, can you relate to anything that those athletes do? Or you just feel like you have a different mindset when it comes to combat sports?
I can relate a lot to them because, like I said, they did what they had to do. They got where they wanted to get to, and then they say, hey, now I want to do this. And they went that direction. Me, I haven't done what I want to do here in the fighting industry in combat sports. And like I said, I had a rough, 5, 6 years, 7 years of my career. And that whole time it was just me not wanting to quit because I knew what I wanted to do in life with combat sports. But, there was nothing else I wanted to do. So I just lingered on and tagged on and, did what I had to do to be able to do these fights. And now, like I said, everything's cleared up. I see everything clear as day like I did when I first started, and I know what I'm going to do, which one thing is that I haven't done in, 10 plus years is train, so all the fights you've seen me do and all that stuff has just been call me, get off the couch and let's go do my thing. Like for this fight here, I got a good training camp, 5 days. Whew, that's a lot. 5 days is equivalent to someone doing their 3-month training camp for, regular people. But for Kryptonite, 5 days is incredible. So, now that I'm training, it is going to be a whole new Kryptonite out there. Everything is going to be different. You're going to see a different style, a different person. It's great. So my mentality is set for what the goals I've set for myself and what I want out of this my career.
Now you've been mentioning Kryptonite, man. Obviously, here everyone A2D is a little bit new to you. Kind of give the fam a little bit of background. Where did Kryptonite come from?
Well, you know what? It back in the day, when I started out, sat around the table with Colin Oyama and other fighters, and he said, "Hey, everybody, you guys got to have a fight name. You want people to recognize you and know you. Get a good fight name. Fight name makes the fighter." And I had the best name ever. I said I want to be the wuss maker. And at the time, my ex said, hey, no one's going to know what that is. That's from your time. Everybody nowadays they don't know what a wuss maker is or what a wuss is and all that kind of stuff. So I said, well, what am I going to call myself? And she said, my ex told me, well, hey, why don't you call yourself Kryptonite? Everybody believes they're Superman, be their weakness. And I said, hey, you know what? I like that. So then it stuck, and then from there, I got this. Where's that? Where are you at? Right there. I got my symbol right there, and
there you go. Got to keep it green since you're Kryptonite, right?
Definitely. That's my color now, But yeah, that's where the name came from, and like I said, when I started my career, it proved to be true. And then I went through my little downfall and stuff, but now Kryptonite's coming back. Well, and there's a little.
If you look at anything, look. You actually look at the DC universe, right? Superman died, went through his rough time. He's now resurrected. They're also resurrecting the whole franchise itself, or like a whole new kind of retool. So hey, it looks like if you look at the way the movie world's going, you're following the actual embodiment. If you really think about it.
Yeah, well, they're following my my storyline. So they say, oh, he's coming back. Hey, let's bring Superman back.
Since you took the moniker, are you a little bit of a nerd, like a DC nerd, Marvel nerd? Do you follow any of that?
You know what? I used to back in the day, but then when I started fighting, I had no time for anything. Fighting, working. I mean, it's just my kids. There was no time for nothing. My TV time came down to maybe watching a commercial or something as I'm walking past the TV, what the kids are watching. Oh, what are you guys watching? Oh, okay, cool. Let's go. Gotta do something. So yeah.
At least some of the fans are checking in, saying glad to see you having some fun. So you know what I mean. And speaking of that, how much fun are you gonna have with this thing Saturday night, man? I obviously, like you said, you feel like you got more in this camp than you have for the last few, considering how things typically go for you. So if anyone happens to be tuning in, what should they expect if this is the first time that they're catching a Tony Kryptonite Lopez fight?
You know what? It's going to be a fight. I always make it a fight, and no matter what, I got to see what the opponent has. So of course, I'm going to let him, try and do whatever he can to me, so that way I can feel that, hey, I'm in a fight, and then from there I'll react to whatever he's got, what he's doing, and if he doesn't have much, it's going to bum me out. It's going to be a quick fight, and it's going to be kind of boring for me, because I'm just going to put him away. I want it to, go 2-3 rounds and have a good time. I mean, I'm not going to let it go the distance. So that's what I don't want. I don't want someone telling me who won. So.
I mean, if you really look around the combat sports, it's still like we've been complaining about this thing for more than 10 years, and it's not just in MMA, it's not just in boxing. Just the overall, I don't know, scoring system. Whoever they go and bring in to be referee, judges, whatever. There's the one gripe I think I could have across the board. I think you could ask, it doesn't matter if you ask fighters, managers, promoters, whatever. One thing they would want to fix, would probably be how things are scored, how the judges are go about things. You've been involved in the sport long enough. Like, what are some ideas you would like to see? Would open scoring help it better? Just to know you're getting hammered, or just would you just like an overall better quality of knowledge of what these people are looking at to kind of prevent all that?
You know what? It don't matter, to me, honestly, because when someone once told me, is, what, if you knock them out or you finish the fight, no one can tell you lost. And that's what it comes down to. Do your job, and you don't have to have no one tell you who won or tell you that you won or lost. And so to me, it don't bother me. The judging, it is crappy, but at the same time, hey, if you win your fight by the way you're supposed to, finishing it, you don't have to worry about what anyone else is going to say, because you won.
Hey, man, don't always work out that way. You know how it is sometimes, Oh,
no. And I gotta disagree on that. Okay, it will always work out that way if you're as good as you say you are. Me, when I did my 16-fight winning streak, the first, I believe, 10 was either knockout or submission. And I chose whether I want to knock them out or I want to submit them, because I was trying to keep my record even, 50-50. So when someone looked me up and say, oh, he's good on the ground, he's good standing. So it always works out the way you want it to work out. It don't matter who you put in front of you. Okay. So, those are excuses. When someone says, no, I don't always work out that way. No, you make it work out the way you're supposed to make it work out. That's why you train. That's why, you practice, you do everything you have to do your cardio, your weightlifting, everything. You just don't do one thing. You do everything. So when you come in and step in that ring, cage, octagon, square circle, whatever it is, you know what you're going to do, and you're going to do it. So it's just excuses when someone says, oh, it don't work out that way, or, you can't always, get the finish or this, that. No, it don't matter. If you do your job right, you get the win. You get the finish. You get the submission, whatever it is, the knockout.
Now, you said you've accomplished so many things, and, your goal list is short. Have you ever like not been able to kind of compete in a place you wanted to, you've fought in all over the United States, internationally? Have you been able to kind of hit all those destinations you want to see in life, man? Like, especially when it comes to this sport, you get unique opportunities to fight in some places. Have you been able to kind of take advantage of that, and have you gone to everywhere you wanted to?
You know what? Around the world, I have, pretty much, which is awesome. That's one thing I will never take away from this sport. It took me everywhere. I've met so many different people, different nationalities, everything. It's been awesome. Yes, there's some places, some organizations that don't want me, which kind of bugged, but at the same time, that was part of what ruined my career. But now, like I said, I'm past all that. And so, hey, it's great. I've enjoyed what I've done. I don't take nothing away from it. And that's the best thing. When I look back and say, you know what? I did all this. I went here, I went there, I met these people, I got these belts. Everybody, the one thing that everybody labels me as a journeyman. You look up journeyman is someone who goes and does odd jobs here and there, a little man of many traits. Well, but the one thing in fighting, a journeyman is never known for holding titles, winning titles, or even being in the top 10. I'm not a journeyman. Call me what you want. Don't call me that, because I have titles. I've won titles. I've beat top-notch fighters. So it's like, if you want to call me that, but just know that you're just doing that to make yourself feel better.
We were talking about the trolls online, man, because I pay attention to half of what people say on social media anymore, unless someone's actually sitting there, somebody who actually follows the fight game, is actually at the fight and see you fight, sit there, has the balls to sit there and say something like that to you, then I'll give that person props. Other than that, I just fall on deaf ears. Journeyman. And I agree with that assessment. Journeymen don't hold titles. They don't stay around as long as guys like you do, man. They're out before they get 20 fights. I guarantee it. That's what journeymen do.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyone who sits there wants to hold on to that conversation, at least when it comes to you, I would have to disagree. Now, you said you've pretty much gone everywhere. What was probably your favorite place that you've had a fight at?
You know what? I loved it when I went out to Australia. You know, and never in my wildest dreams would I ever think, well, I'm going to go to Australia. Why would I go out there? And when I went out there, it's great. Same thing, because when I go to places, I'm fans or sponsors, everybody, they always hook it up. And, Australia was no different. They hooked it up with, I got, to go sightseeing. And then I hooked up with the one fan that took me out, fishing through the canals and stuff. So, I mean, so many things that I experienced that I would have never experienced if I just would have went out on my own. Or, it would have cost me a lot more than what it did. It cost me a pack of beer, which in Australia, I came to find out beer is really expensive. So, but yeah, no, it was great. Everything I did out there, I mean, they treated me like family, and that's what I love about this is everywhere I went, everywhere, Lithuania was another great place that I loved. Same thing. They treated me like royalty.
Ruben wants to know, how is the Ukraine?
Cold. Every time I've gone,
so.
every time I've gone, it's always been, I don't know why, but in the winter. So it's always been cold out there, So, but I mean, it's awesome. Same thing, no matter where it is. I mean, it's an experience, and it is everything's beautiful, because I don't go over there and go like, man, this place is a dump. What is that? To me, it's like, man, it's cool. People live here, people live like this, and the cold, man, that kills me. I hate the cold, but like I said, I love being able to go visit different places.
Yeah, I mean, I think like no matter what, like I think that's something like when you're able to compete in the sport, the length that you have to be able to do that, like that's kind of the one things that I think is probably the thing they can't take away from you. One, and one thing and the other is you can't put a dollar value on it either. I mean, obviously, us in life you can put a dollar value because how much it comes out of your pocket, but meaning like like what you're talking about, those little memories that it cost you a case of beer, but it's something like that'll always be with you.
Oh yeah, no.
So much more than the wins or losses is sometimes it's kind of the little moments or around those wins and losses that are cherished the most by I believe a lot of the combat sports athletes.
Oh yeah, most definitely. It's awesome, and yeah, like you said, I could have never put a price on what I've done, because everywhere I've gone, I mean, let's put it this way. In my family, I'm the only one that's gone all over the world, seen all these places. They the most they've gone is, from California to Mexico. And maybe, some other states here, local to California, Nevada, Vegas and stuff like that, Arizona. But I mean, they haven't traveled, not like I have. They haven't seen the stuff I've seen. So I mean, that's how it is for a lot of people. A lot of people don't leave their own state. And for me to be lucky enough to go around the world and see all these different people and cultures and stuff like that, I mean, and it was all, to me, I say it's all free, because, my plane, my airfare's paid for, my hotel's paid for. All I got to do is perform, and then I get, a few days out there, wherever it is, and make the most of it.
You can make the most out of all of it. That's why, like, even like things you were talking about, like you're sitting there saying people making excuses. I always sit there and say, people always tell you guys, best of luck. I always say best of skill, because there's no such thing as luck in there, right? It's either you're good enough or you're not.
Yep.
So I always say best of skill to you guys. And before I wrap it up, I typically kind of throw the proverbial microphone over to you guys. Anyone you would like to thank, training partners, teammates, shoot out your guys' social media sites, any sponsors you're working with, and anything you guys are working with outside of combat sports you want to let everyone know about, charities, anything like that. Tony, the time is yours, my friend.
Oh no, well, thanks a lot. You know what? Big thing, first thing is my sponsors right here. All or Nothing. They're the ones that hook me up with my gear and stuff. So I mean, I can't think the other way. He's always looking out for me, trying to give me fights too and stuff. And then Avenger Cycles, take care of my ride. Also J&S Auto takes care of my other ride, my truck. Make sure everything's going good. OC Fight Doctor, make sure I'm well tuned up for every fight. If I have any kinks or any problems, I go see him. So Unbreakable Mouthpieces, got my mouth gear from them. That's why I'm still going hard and going strong the way I am. Can't get knocked out. So that's my sponsors. I also want to thank, my kids, because, they put up with me. They did everything I do, is always like, hey, man, I got to go do this. I got to go work out. I got to train. I got to go run. I got to lift some weights. I got to go work. And, that's a big thing right there. And they're putting up with everything I'm doing. My kids always want to come with me, but like when I get these last minute fights, they can't. And then see what else. Big thanks to me, myself, and I, because without me, myself, and I would get the training I want to get in. I wouldn't have this great, 5-day training camp that I got for this fight. And, that's what it's all about, me. As long as I'm happy and I can do what I do and I believe in myself, hey, there's no limits to what I can do. And you, of course, got to thank you for, give you props for having me here doing this interview. And, I appreciate it. I think that's it.
It's definitely our pleasure over here, Tony. And I guess one more from from the chat room. Ruben wants to know when you guys are doing another movie. You doing some movie work there too? You get some IBM credits?
No, I've been. I've done. I've done a list. I had a list, whatever. But I've done quite a few things. So, but yeah, soon I'm looking to get back into it, Ruben. So don't worry, it'll be soon.
Well, Tony, always a pleasure. Best of skill Friday night, man. I'm sure you knowing you might have another one lined up before the end of the week. Who knows?
Oh, I already do. Next month I got one, January 15th. So hey, it's time to pick up the game,
Yeah, do what you got to do, Tony. Always appreciate the time. Best of skill to you. Definitely keep in touch, my friend, and do your thing. Keep smashing these goals, and anything we can help you with over here at A2D. Don't be too scared to ask, man. We always happy to have you back.
Sweet, man. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, everyone. That was Tony. This is another episode of our Athlete Spotlight. We'll catch you guys on a rebound. Peace out.